السلام علیکم ناظرین، آپ دیکھ رہے ہیں پروگرامز پر ایڈوائس اور میں ہوں آپ کا ہوسٹ شکیل احمد۔ ناظرین، یوکے کے اندر موجودہ کورونا کی جو صورتحال ہے وہ انتہائی خوش آئند ہے۔ وہ اس لیے کہ یوکے کے اندر دن بدن کورونا کے کیسز کم سے کم ہوتے جا رہے ہیں۔ یہ اس وجہ سے ممکن ہوا کہ وہاں کے شہری، وہاں کے سٹیزنز اور وہاں کی عوام نے اپنی گورنمنٹ کے بتائے ہوئے SOPs کے اوپر بخوبی عمل کیا۔ یہی وجہ ہے کہ ہمیں بھی یہ سوچنے کی ضرورت ہے کہ ہم اپنے ملک کے اندر، پاکستان کے اندر کورونا سے احتیاط کس طریقے سے رکھ سکتے ہیں۔ ہمیں بھی دیے گئے گورنمنٹ کے SOPs کے اوپر مکمل طور پر عمل کرنے کی ضرورت ہے۔ تو آج ہم ڈسکس کریں گے کہ یوکے کے اندر موجودہ کورونا سے ریلیٹڈ کیا صورتحال ہے، اور خاص طور پہ وہ پاکستانی نوجوان، وہ پاکستانی سٹوڈنٹس جو یوکے میں یونیورسٹی آف ہل کے اندر اپنی اعلیٰ تعلیم کے لیے جانا چاہ رہے ہیں، ان کے لیے کیا معلومات ہیں۔ تو آج ہمارے ساتھ یوکے سے موجود ہیں مس ایما، جو ریپرزینٹ کرتی ہیں یونیورسٹی آف ہل یوکے کو۔ ایما، thank you very much that you have joined us today from UK, and I'm sure there was a nice weather. As you were discussing before recording, so we are thankful once again for your time. So please let us know about the current situation with respect to the COVID-19 for our audience. What's happening there with respect to the safety measures, how the people are feeling, and what are the what is the current situation there in whole UK?
Hi, thanks for having me here today. The situation at the moment is that the UK government is taking us out of the lockdown very slowly. So we've been at lockdown, we've been made to stay at home, only going out to go shopping and to take exercise to start with. And then gradually they've started to open up more businesses. They're very worried about the UK economy, but also trying to keep in mind like the safety of the people that live here as well, and our health and well-being. So at the moment, what we're looking at is some of our schools have started to go back, where the children in the reception class in the year 1 and also in year 6 have returned to school, and the schools have had to implement specific safety measures to make sure those students in the classes are socially distanced.
So that's a great news. Emma, I'll interrupt you here that you have mentioned that people are and the government is planning to open up the schools. So am I right that this initiative could be implemented very soon for UK students?
Well, so the schools are opening and they're starting to look at how to get as many pupils back into school as possible. But the universities are being allowed to make their own decisions about when they go back and how they go back, and they'll be following government advice as well. So it's good that what we're looking at is just making sure that the economy can keep going. We've been very lucky that our government have given us, as people that have businesses and those that are big multinationals as well, a lot of money to keep the businesses going. So people that have not been able to go to work and actually work in the businesses, they've been able to take money from the government and support them in this way.
That's great. As you have mentioned, the UK is opening up the different kinds of businesses. They are, crucial and important for UK government and especially for the economy as well. That I understand, and that is possible to open all the business because these are really very crucial for the economy in the country as well. But alongside, what do you think are the safety measures taken by UK government? As I was just looking on the different stats of you can say the COVID-19 affected people. So the graph is decreasing, that is declining. So what different safety measures were prescribed by the government, or you can say the instructed by the government, and how the citizens got implementations of those, and now the graph is declining?
Okay, so the major thing that they implemented was social distancing. So that is to be away from anybody that's outside of your household for more than 2 meters. So when you go to the supermarket, to make sure that you're 2 meters away from anybody else in the supermarket. Right. latest intervention that we have is also that when we're on public transport, so whether that be a bus or a train, then we have to be wearing a face mask as well. So face masks are not required in the general, like being generally out and about, but if you are on public transport now, then you must be wearing a face covering.
Oh, that's great. So social distancing is the formula that a lot of different countries in the world, they are implementing for the citizens to just, get away from this current, we can say, the wave of corona situation. So moving ahead, what about the different kinds of facilities, or you can say what are the different safety measures are taken into considerations by University of Hull for international students who are currently there on campus, living in hostels, or you can say into near locality even?
Okay, so the university decided that everybody that could work from home would work from home. There is no or very limited face-to-face contact happening on the campus. Now, the students that were left in accommodation, and they could have been both UK students and international, so those that couldn't leave the university for whatever reason, they've been able to stay. And the university has either looked at being able to provide catering options. So if you actually thought that you had COVID-19 symptoms, the government said that you are not allowed to go out for 2 weeks. And therefore that meant to go shopping. So if you didn't have access to be able to go shopping, then the university was laying on catering, so providing meals for those students as well. The students that had already bought catering packages, then the food is now being delivered directly to their apartments rather than them having to go to the canteen. So the canteens themselves are closed, but they are working in terms of providing meals for the students. In terms of the actual learning and teaching side of things, everything has taken place online. So all the lectures that were left to run from when we went into lockdown, they all ran online. And then all of the classes did as well. So any seminars or any tutorials, they all ran online as well. The other thing that we looked at is obviously the exam period was meant to take place between May and June. And it was looking at how we implemented that. And the change was that there would be different types of assessments. So rather than a closed book exam that would take place in an exam hall, then they would look at different types of assessment for the students, just to make sure that we were assessing their learning outcomes. But one of the other things that we looked at...
Okay, so this is something important for the students. So you mean as the exams of different subjects or the courses were supposed to be taken in May, between May and June, now the university is taking these exams and planning to take these exams online by a virtual method to assess the students for their promotions. Am I right?
No, that's not right. So the exams themselves were, they changed the method of assessment. So rather than it being closed book, sat in a room, it would now be a different type of assignment. So it would be either like a piece of coursework that showed that their learning outcomes were met.
Okay, so means the methodology is about to get changed comparing with the examination that were held earlier.
That's correct. And obviously because we changed those kind of things, and students we expecting to have a sit-down closed book exam, they actually have made allowances for students because of the stressful situation that we're in, and made sure that no students would be detrimentally marked as well. So there was more flexibility in the grading of these papers as well, to make sure that students did okay and got the grades that they deserve.
Fantastic. Emma, as you're there in UK, so we can listen on news, we can see on online, we can watch on TV. There are a lot of different news regarding vaccine that University of Oxford scientists are working on. there in UK. So what are the news about vaccines, when it's going to be expectedly coming in the market, and how the work is going on there?
So we're very lucky and very proud that one of the leading specialists working on the vaccine, Professor Sarah Gilbert, is actually an alumni of the University.
Oh, that's really great. That's a great news that Hullievenivers alumni is a part of that team. They are making a vaccines there in University of Oxford.
That's correct. And in terms of like timelines, we're still waiting to hear. And obviously this is a very difficult process. You have to make sure that the vaccines work. The human trials are still ongoing, and they need to find out how these work as well. But obviously with the other measures that are in place, so the social distancing, keeping away from people, wearing masks, you don't know if the vaccine is working. So they're having to undertake a lot of tests to make sure that this is going to be suitable for people to be able to use and for us to be protected in the UK and also globally. So the news at the moment has been focused on other areas rather than the vaccine at the moment, and we'll wait until we hear more information, and then we can share with you, and then hopefully the British news will be able to share when we're able to come up with a vaccine that will protect us from this disease.
That's great, because yes, that's understood that we cannot believe either that will work or not, but the expectations, people are very optimistic to get that vaccine in market, as the different news has elaborated, end of this year, and we are praying that it should be as early as possible in the market, so that people could have a sigh of relief and could get rid of this corona, and we can only pray for it. Emma, moving ahead, how much you're optimistic that in coming September, students from all over the world, they would be capable to move to UK and start their classes in person on campuses?
Okay, so the plan that the university is taking at the moment, and we've been looking at lots of different scenarios, and the UK government has obviously said that social distancing is the best way forward. So when you're looking at having a large cohort of students being in a lecture hall, that's going to be really difficult. So our plan is that all of our lectures will take place online, at least in the first semester, and then we'll reassess this as we go forward. However, what we are hoping is that we'll be able to do some face-to-face classes, so tutorials or smaller seminars, where students will be able to actually be in the same physical space, as long as they're 2 meters distance apart. And we're looking at ways that we can set this up. So what we're looking is that the class, so your lecture each week for each of your modules will take place online, but then we'll try and do as many seminars face-to-face as possible. And we'll look at how we have to move forward with when the government says we can relax further measures, or if we had another flare-up, then how we implement those as well. So the university leadership team is working all the time to make sure that we as staff are protected and also the students are protected as well.
Yes, yes, absolutely correct. But if we talk about that university is planning to take the classes online, I'm sure that will be okay for the local students or the students who are there in UK. But what about the international students? You know, the students are not enjoying the in-person environment to study there due to COVID, and that won't be possible for them to move there in UK. So what about, the fee? Is university thinking to reduce the fee for online courses too, or that will be the same one?
Well, what we're looking is that all courses will have elements of face-to-face. So we're hoping that if students can come to the UK, if there are no visa restrictions in terms of bringing students over and their governments allow them to fly, then we will have them on our campus. Our accommodation will be open. And in light of this, then the university have decided that there will be no restriction on the fee, that the fee will remain as it is. We give our international students a discount already, and they'll get the same learning, although it will be delivered in a slightly different way.
Okay. And Emma, what are the different courses the university is going to offer for September intake? I'm sure all those courses that university was practicing before would be available for international students, or specific selected courses has been chosen for the coming intake for international students?
Well, actually, we've decided to run everything. So if you find the course on our website, it will run. And so for our international students, it could be a whole range of things. Students from Pakistan are interested in our computer science courses. They're looking at courses within our business school and also within our School of Law as well. But then we have some students that are also interested in studying certain science subjects as well. And obviously one of those key areas will be the biomedical science. Obviously, now is no better time to be looking at studying biomedical science or some kind of human biology. So these subjects are still very popular at the University of Hull.
Yes, absolutely correct. That as we have observed this pandemic, COVID-19, so the courses related to medical would be the popular and would be of first choice for a lot of different local and international students, I'm sure. And Emma, what about the scholarships then? Everybody, every time, even without pandemic, students were concerned about the scholarship. So is university planning to give some encouraging scholarship in the current situation to international students, or the same as it was earlier?
So we've looked at our financial situation, and obviously as a university and across the whole of the UK university sector as well, we're very worried about our finances, and we will lose income, and we're hoping that we can continue to run as universities and have students in the future. And based on this and looking at that situation, that doesn't leave much money left to be able to support students in terms of additional larger scholarships. So at the moment, there is no additional funding for those larger scholarships. So as I said though, we do have a small scholarship that students from Pakistan would be able to attain, and that discount is between £3,000 and £3,500 for each year of a student's study. Okay. So we do already provide a good discount, especially for the undergraduate students, where they take a discount of between £9,000 and £12,500 for their full studies. So this will remain available to our students from Pakistan. Oh,
that's great. I'm in the situation because I'm sure a lot of different businesses, they're open in UK. So how the international students are coping with their expenses at the moment? They were before pandemic, they were engaged with different kinds of activities, were working, were taking hands-on experience at different organizations. But how is the situation now? How they're making their bread and butter in the current situation?
Okay, so UK businesses have been looking at different ways that they can make sure that they're still running. And obviously the international students have been able to be part of that. However, one of the big problems that we have globally is we now have this large gig economy, which means that people only get paid when they work, such as kind of like delivery drivers, whether they work in Uber or another company, or if you're working in the takeout industry, like takeout food industry. And obviously a lot of students in Hull, they work in this particular way. But one of the good things is actually that a lot more people are using these kind of services, because obviously we can't go to restaurants anymore, so we're using takeout food. So although the jobs will be less at the moment, there is still work available. Now, if students were working part-time for other companies, some of those companies will be able to furlough those staff and then still continue to pay them. So it just depends on the kind of work that you're doing, whether you can still go to work, and what the situation is. But one of the good things is that the UK government actually lifted the visa restrictions. So where they said that the students who are in term time can only work 20 hours a week on their visa for their tier 4, they've said at the moment, because the university is working differently, that they can now work full time. So it means that they have a lot more opportunity to go out to work.
All right, Emma, one thing more, just added with the same answer, that, you know, previously we were thinking about the post-study work options for international students. So unluckily the situation has been like due to COVID. But what are the news about post-study work options? Would it be allowed for the students who are coming there in UK for coming September intake?
Okay, so the government still haven't announced their full plans. However, every time they are spoken to by either the university bodies, where we come together as a group, they are still saying that the graduate immigration route, which is our new post-study work visa, will still be up and running for summer 2021. The government are saying that the details of this program will be announced from January 2021, and then we'll be able to clear guidance of what is required for this particular visa. The talk so far is that students, even if they have a blended learning module or option where they've chosen to, or they have been able to stay at home in their home country and then come to the UK, they are saying that this will be okay in order to apply for the graduate immigration route. And obviously they'll have to build in those rules, and we'll have to figure out how that works as well for the students.
Okay, so Emma, if I ask one specific question related to your university, why one need to study there at your university? I mean, what are the different features for the students who are just watching us right away, that why they need to go to your university only there?
I would suggest that students should come to the University of Hull, especially if they've got a clear specialisation. I think this is where the UK economy is going to be focused in the future, is making sure that you have a specialisation. And particularly around the tech industry, where we are fantastic. We have just announced a new course in AI and data science, but also if you're looking at the cybersecurity aspect. So obviously if you think about how COVID-19 has changed in the world, being online is much more important, and being protected is much more important as well when you're online. So therefore, this is a big up and coming area, and this is one of the areas where we excel.
Okay.
Now, one of the other key areas for us is actually looking at environmental. And obviously we know from the news that's come out globally that the environment is actually coping really well now that we've stopped burning quite so much gas and oil, and there's a lot of recovery going on. So as a university, we're actually looking at environmental sciences from many different aspects, and how they are actually supporting the world, looking at environment from many areas. So this is also a key thing for us. One of our other big areas is logistics. So we have a great logistics institute as a research institute within the university, and offer the subject areas of logistics and supply chain management for undergrads and postgrads to study. So they're key growing areas in the UK at the moment, and students who have this type of specialisation will be doing really well in the future.
Okay, that's really great. That's something students must consider while applying for University of Hull from Pakistan or internationally. So what you have to say about the eligibility criteria? Let us know, our students or the youth, about eligibility criteria to get admission for undergraduate program and the postgraduate program in general. Give us an overview about the eligibility and alongside the fee structure for in general for undergraduate and postgraduate, please.
Okay, so what we're looking at, if a student is an undergraduate and looking to come and do a bachelor degree, they need to have completed the HSSC or intermediate, and the grade that we look at is 65%. Now, if students have lower than 65%, then we have our partner on campus Hull that will take students onto a foundation program. So there's a couple of options, either directly into first year at 65%, or if you have less, then you can come and do foundation. Now, if you've done 4 semesters of a degree or an associate degree, then we would be looking at a grade of 55% to come into the first year in the university of a bachelor degree. Now, if you're looking at doing a master's degree, we will look at what you've previously studied in a university in Pakistan or another country, but I'll give you the grades for Pakistan. If you've done a 4-year program in Pakistan, we're looking at a grade of 60%, and that's the same if you've done a 3-year honours degree in Pakistan, that's also a grade of 60%. If you've been able to do the 2+2 system, so 2 years undergraduate, 2 years masters, then we'd be looking at an average grade of 55%. We can also be a little bit flexible. So if you've got some work experience that's relevant to your course and you've got some good experience, we can also look at being more flexible with the grades. Now, the other thing that we look at is your English language, and we look at IELTS, and our general requirement is a 6.0 and 5 in each component. And there are other exams that we can accept as well. Okay. Now, if we go to the finances, what we're looking at, undergraduate courses, there are 2 fee structures, one for arts programs and then the other one for sciences. So if you're doing an arts program, our tuition fee is £14,500 for each year. If you're doing a science degree, so that will cover any of the sciences and the engineering as well, the tuition fee structure is £17,200 for each year. Now, of course, I have to remember that I mentioned those discounts. So if you are studying an arts program, you get a discount of £3,000 each year. And if you're a science student, then you get a discount of £3,500 each year. So what you actually end up paying each year as an arts student is £11,500, and a science student is £13,700. Now, if we move on to postgraduate courses, slightly more complex, but not too much. You're looking at arts programs, not including our business school, but all of our other arts programs. The tuition fee is once again £14,500. The science and engineering courses, they are £17,200. And our business school masters are £16,200. And all of those students would get the £3,500 discount. So arts programs are £11,000, science and engineering are £13,700, and business school becomes £12,700.
Okay, that's great. That's great that you have elaborated the eligibility criteria alongside the fee structures in details for us. That's something really, you can say comprehensive and in details for the students who really want to apply for University of Hull. Here, let us know that due to the current situation the COVID-19, what do you think? I'm sure you're not the right person to ask this question, but as you're there in UK, connected with the university, so you know daily happenings and the news you're connected with. So I just need to ask, will this current situation impact on student success visa ratio from Pakistan or not? Are you think that will be positive and more encouraging comparing with the last time?
I think that the government is going to uphold the same rules that they always have done for visas. So for students applying for a Tier 4 visa, they show that they're a genuine student, then they will still meet the criteria and they'll be awarded the visa. There's nothing to tell us that this won't happen. So I don't think that there will be less visas granted. In the UK, if you meet the criteria, then there's no reason for you to not be awarded that. Right. So I'm positive and I'm hopeful that actually the situation in that respect doesn't change. I think my concern, I do have a small concern though with that. What you have to consider is that all of the students around the world, many of them at the moment, they haven't been able to apply for their visa. So there will be a bit of a backlog in terms of processing the visas when they're sent into the UK to be processed. So students, if they decide that they're definitely going to come, as soon as they can make their application for their visa, they need to get that booked in. Now the visa centres and also the UKVI are going to be more flexible than they have been previously with issuing of visas, and the universities, I believe, can be a bit more flexible with accepting students. Obviously, if you're coming in from Pakistan, and we know at the moment that the VACs are closed, so you cannot apply for your visa. So we can be more flexible, and we will be as flexible.
All right. Emma, we are running out of the time. So thank you very much for your time. You have discussed in details about the situation that's going on there in UK. You have elaborated about the eligibility criteria, admission, fee structures and different things about University of Hull. And here we can only pray that soon the international students are, the university's activities could get commence in person on campuses. And that we can only wish and we can pray for. Once again, thank you for your time. Have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
جی تو ناظرین آپ نے پروگرام دیکھا. جتنے بھی ممالک ہیں, جتنی بھی میرے ڈفرینٹ لوگوں سے بات ہوتی ہے یا اس پروگرام ایکسپرٹ ایڈوائس میں ہم ڈسکس کرتے ہیں, کرکس یہ ہے کہ جتنے بھی زندہ دلانے قومیں ہیں یا جتنے بھی ڈیولپڈ کنٹریز کے ذمہ دار سٹیزنز شہری ہیں, انہوں نے کرونا کے حوالے سے گورنمنٹ کے ایس او پیز کے اوپر مکمل طور پر عمل کیا اور اس کو فالو کیا, جس کی وجہ سے کرونا کا ایک جو بڑھتا ہوا گراف وہ خاصا کم ہوا اور دنیا اب بہتری کی طرف جا رہی ہے. ہمیں بھی یہاں پہ یہی سوچنے کی ضرورت ہے اور کرنے کی ضرورت ہے کہ ہم گورنمنٹ کے ایس او پیز کے اوپر خاص طور پہ عمل کریں اور سوشل ڈسٹینسنگ, جس کو ایک فارمولہ سمجھا جاتا ہے اس کرونا سے ریکوری کا یا اس کرونا سے نجات کا, تو وہ ابھی تک سوشل ڈسٹینسنگ ہے. اس سوشل ڈسٹینسنگ کو ضرور مینٹین کریں, اس کو آبزرو کریں, اور سیکنڈلی باہر نکلتے وقت دوستوں سے بات چیت کرتے وقت یا کسی ضروری کام سے اگر آپ باہر جا رہے ہیں تو اپنے ماسک کا استعمال ضروری کریں. اللہ تعالیٰ سے دعا ہے کہ جلد ہم اس کرونا سے نجات حاصل کریں اور ایک دفعہ دوبارہ اپنی روزمرہ کی سرگرمیوں کے اندر مشغول ہو سکیں. اگلے پروگرام میں حاضر ہوں گے ایک نئے ایکسپرٹ ایڈوائس کے ساتھ. تب تک کے لیے اجازت دیجیے. اللہ حافظ.